For me, I like to move the high mount first. So my favorite way is I Superman out right, and then I like to use the head to scoop my legs up forward. It helps scoop his knees out. And I just pick one or the other. For me, usually, I try to use my left arm because I like to choke with my right arm. Right? So I'll just come back and now find that elbow because you got the high elbow out there. I come back and find that elbow and isolate these together. And I try not to reach and push like this because it takes away my post. So I'll come and scoop with my arms so that my hands are free. My hands are always free as Spider-Man if I need to. Let's come across here. And now this is driving this across. Get your head involved. Once you get the arm passes over, then that's when I'll scoop. This hand immediately right to here. And I'm in twisted arm control right. And if for me it depends. How I pick is if when I give him a little bit of pressure, if he turns, then I'll go to side. I'll go here, twisted arm control. But if he is insisting on his back being straight on the mat, I'm just going to switch my arms. So I'll just bring this one under, and at the same time, this one's going to kind of dive through. I'm almost giving you a hug. My shoulder is going to come right into his. Okay, so when I dive this down, my shoulder is going to come down, and I can put it right where I need it to be, grabbing your lat, switch off, and then my shoulder's right where it needs to be. And I like the S grip. I like the S grip better than the gable for this. I'll go to S grip from here, and then now I switch off. When you switch off, you don't want to get caught in half guard. So always windshield wiper with your foot here. And I'm just taking my toes and finding your hip, and then I'll slide this over to the side, and my toes to hip, and then knee to toes to get this out. Whenever you do this transition, inherently your shoulder is going to come up because of this lift. So when that happens, really drop it in place. Usually when you get over here, you're going to have to reset this arm. So my thing is ear to ear. So grab this and put my ear to your ear, drop the shoulder in, and you'll know if this is right if you can do it easy. Right? If you get here and you're having to fucking squeeze really hard, it's not on right. So I should be able to, even my hips are way up high. This is completely wrong, right? But I know this is right because as soon as I turn it down. Right? So if I can't do it that easy, right? So if I could make you tap with one hand and my hand's not locked, my hips way up in the air, I'm doing a lot of technical things correct. Right? So your bicep and your shoulders on this side, mine is directly on your side, which is creating most of the pressure. And that little twist is doing it. So now if I got all that down, we know we're good, and if I add all this fucking extra pressure to it, it's going to be really effective. Right? For me, honestly, I prefer to stay higher. A lot of people get super low, and I don't like it. I feel like my hips right now are dropped below the level of where the choke is. That's where my position of my shoulder, if you look straight up and down me, my hips are low to the mat and my shoulders up high. I feel like that takes weight off. So I like to, you can correct that by getting your head down really low. But I just never like the way it feels. I like to come up a little bit higher, and then I can twist a little bit more by keeping my regular base here. And I'll try to finish here. But if you do stretch out, nothing wrong with that. It's just I have to change the direction. If you're having problems, it's always the position of your shoulder. So people screw with all kinds of other stuff. If I got rid of this, right? And I put my shoulder right there in your carotid artery on that side, and I start squeezing, it doesn't take much. Okay? So this is what's gonna put you to sleep, but this is creating the pressure. So this just secures that, and then that shoulder is gonna take that. And now you take all that little finesse technique, and you add in all your athleticism and squeezing as hard as you can whenever it's real. That's probably the biggest mistake is when we drill, we get to it, and then you're like, and you see people, they can't figure it out. So you'll watch them, and they're like arching their back. And the person's like off the mat. Obviously, that's not right. So the adjustment is, it's either I need to pull my arm deeper to change where my arm is at, position-wise that way, which I do by pulling across. But usually it's I need to drop it below the chin and work it back in. You know, like the Navy SEAL push-up, right? Like the Hindu push-up? It's that motion. Okay, so I'm here, I'm Hindu push-up and under, you get up under that chin. Even if it's buried down, if If you sit there and work it out of there, it'll work. Macro push. The flip side of this is if I can't figure it out, for whatever reason, I can't make this work. All I need to do is hold on to him, and this is a great control position, and then switch back to twisted arm control. So I'm just going to give you another hug and switch my arm. So I go back and get this arm, switch out to here. I've lost nothing. I'm just reversing everything that I did. Bring this back up, come back here, windshield wiper across, and bring it right back in twisted arm control, and we lost nothing. Make sense?